Watford are Champions League winners. You heard that here. Watford. Twice. Welcome back, YouTubers. This is Steve Byrne, and this is episode 4 of Into the Future. We will be visiting the year 2100. If you like this kind of content, then please do smash that subscribe button. Leave us a comment below about what you think and what you'd like to see in this series. And also, if you could hit that like button, we'd very much appreciate it. With that being said, let's go and take a look at what's happening in the year 2100. Before we go anywhere, let's have a quick look at my manager. He is 100 years old. Whew. Okay, as normal, we're going to start in the English leagues to see who's been winning the Premier League, FA Cup and the Carling Cup, Carabao Cup / EFL Cup, whatever it's called. Let's have a look. So straight off the bat, we can see that Manchester City are the current holders. So let's start by checking out the past winners of the Premier League. So if we go back to the 2080 season, we can see that Man City had a spell of dominance from 82 all the way up to 2090, and then two teams that you wouldn't really expect to be winning the league was Watford, and then Derby won it twice in a row, and then Man City 3 times, and then Watford again winning it back to back before Man City claimed their throne as current champions back to back as well. Now that's quite impressive to see that Watford and Derby, that in the last episode they were floating around Derby, and even Watford I believe had a few successes, and now we can see that they're teams that have started to win the league. You know, in 10 years Watford have won it 3 times. And any noticeable runners up, you know, Derby countless times, Watford, Derby, and even in the third place positions it's normally Watford or Derby finishing third. So a big shout out to Derby and Watford at the moment, who are really setting alight the Premier League. So now let's go and have a look at the FA Cup. So starting from the FA Cup, we can see that the current champions are Charlton Athletic. And past winners, so if we go back from the last episode, was Chelsea. They were the last team to win it on episode 3. Then Watford, Arsenal, they're quite familiar with the FA Cup. Brighton, City, Watford again, Everton throwing their name in the hat. And then Man City had a spell of dominance where they won the FA Cup 5 times in a row. Newcastle then went on to win, followed by United, Derby and Watford. There we go again. Derby, Liverpool, Man City, and then Charlton this year, just to upset the odds, have gone on to win the FA Cup against Bournemouth. Let's check where they are. They are in the Premier League. That's understandable why they've won. Okay, so now let's check. I think it's called the Carabao Cup. It is. And again, Watford, they're a team that are dominating, and they are the current holders of the Carabao Cup. Let's take a look at the past winners. So as we ended episode 3, Derby were the winners of the Carabao Cup, and then since then we've had the same look of teams winning it again. So it's gone to Man City, Aston Villa, United, Liverpool, Arsenal. Here we go again, Derby and Watford, Man City again, Arsenal, Bournemouth in 2090 season, and then Watford twice, City 3 times, Arsenal once, Liverpool twice, and then Watford once again, winning in the year 2099, 2100. So now let's go and have a look at the Spanish League. If you had a chance to be watching my last few episodes, you'd see that we only do the cup competitions in England because that's the only league that we'll run in throughout the save. So with the other major European leagues that we check, it's just the league. So we left episode 3 with Barcelona winning the league that year, and then it's been a flick up between Real Madrid and Barcelona, and then it was broken up a little bit by Atletico Madrid, and then Real Madrid entered 4 years of dominance, with Valencia then changing that. They last won it in 2071, I believe. Barcelona again, Atletico Madrid, Barca, Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. So Real Madrid have not won the La Liga for 10 years, which is quite concerning for them because they should at least be winning every, 2 to 3 years, would you say? Next up is the French League. Now, last time, Paris were absolutely dominating it. I think there was one change in the winners. Let's go and have a look. Yeah, as we said, there was one change in the past, and that, I believe, was Lyon in the 2062-63 season. Now, as I slowly scroll up, you'll see just Paris copied and pasted on every column there. Does anything change? We're into the mid-90s. The answer is no. Paris have won it every single season for the last 20 years. Any noticeable runners-up? They're your normal teams: Monaco, Lyon, Lille, Marseille. And what can I say? That's pretty much the same sort of teams that are finishing second, with Paris just dominating. Next up, let's take a look at the German Bundesliga. In episode 3, Bayern Munich had won the league 20 years in a row from the year 2060 to 2080. So let's see if that dominance has changed in German football. So, as I flick up, we can see Bayer Leverkusen finally broke that record in 83-84 season, pipping Bayern Munich to the title. Then RB Leipzig go on and win the league in 84 and the 85 season. Bayern Munich reclaim their glory for a year. Then Leverkusen have another title under their names. And then Bayern Munich for 3 years. Leverkusen again breaking it up. And then Munich up until the 97-98 season, where Leverkusen have another title under their name. But however, the last 2 years, Bayern Munich have won it back to back. Let's check out the Italian league. In episode 3, Napoli had great successes between the 60s and up to the 80s season. As we can see here, Napoli started winning from the 2060 from episode 3, and then there was a few teams in between, which was Lazio, Juventus and Inter, and Lazio, which I've said. But from the 2068-69 season, Napoli went on to dominate for the rest of episode 3. So let's see what they've been up to in the last 20 years. Are they still dominating Italy? So as we slowly scroll up, we can see that Napoli have dominated the 80s, they've dominated the 70s, and have they dominated the 90s? Eventually, Lazio break up the domination. In 93-94, Lazio pipped Napoli to becoming the Serie A champions. But that was all, because Napoli then went on a streak to continue their dominance in the Italian league. So right now, the biggest team in Italy is Napoli. Let's check out the Champions League. So straight off the bat, we can see that the current holders are FC Porto. In the previous episodes, there's been a mixture of teams winning the Champions League. I wouldn't say there's been a team that have purely dominated this. So we can see from the end of episode 3, Barcelona were the last team to get the victory. Then that was followed by Paris, Watford. Watford are Champions League winners. You heard that here, Watford. Man United, then Napoli won it twice. Paris, Bayern Munich, City 4 times, Bayern Munich, Derby again, I believe they'd won it before. Yep, in 72 and 71. Then Zenit St. Petersburg, that's a good victory for them. Then Man City, Paris, Derby and Watford. You've heard it here. Watford have won the Champions League twice. Then Man City, and we finish up with Porto, like we said, the current holders of the Champions League. Next up is the Europa League. Let's see who's winning that. We left episode 3 with Roma as the Europa League champions in the 79 and 80 season. They beat Borussia Dortmund in Poland. So as we move forward, we can see that Man City, Valencia, Inter, Derby, Real Madrid, Napoli, Paris, Milan, Dynamo Kiev, that's a good victory for them. Galatasaray also very good to be winning the European tournament in today's world. Well, I say today's world. It's 2089, so a lot has changed. Lyon, Arsenal in 91-92, and then, I don't even know how I'm going to say this, Ferencváros won it in 2092 against Basel, and I want to double check their nationality. They're Hungarian. Hungarians have won the Europa League. Very nice. Then it stayed in England for the next 3 years. Manchester United, Liverpool and Arsenal. And then Ferencváros won it again. And then, here's a big one. The last 3 teams, actually, in 97-98 was Universitatea Craiova, which are Romanian. They won the Europa League. Then Molde. God, my pronunciations on this is terrible today. They won. Then Red Star in the 99-2100 season beat Molde again. I say again, but Molde were in the final again. Wow, so that's really cool actually to see the last 3 teams that have won the Euro Cup. That's pretty cool. Let's check out the winners of the World Cup. So we left the World Cup with France beating Brazil to become the World Cup champions in 2078. So there's been a few winners since then. Let's slowly take a look. In 2082, England beat Turkey in China. England is starting to collect a few World Cups now. In 2086, England beat Spain in South Africa. In 2090, England beat France in Spain. In 2094, Spain beat Sweden in Australia. And in 2098, England won the World Cup again against France in Brazil. Now, I'm curious. I need to check out this England team. So let's filter the England team by their value to see who's the most valuable player for the England national team. We can see that would be David Solly from Manchester City. He's a striker, 52 caps, 29 goals. Then Watford striker Daniel Quao, rated at 67 million, 17 caps and 2 goals. And he's been Watford through and through. Who wouldn't want to leave Watford the way they're playing at the moment anyway? So yeah, as we can see, they've got a very good squad. Very good. Come on, England. Let's take a look at the European Football Championships. So we left episode 3 with Holland beating France in Scotland, Wales in the 2084 season. England had another win against Ireland in Portugal. 2088, Holland then beat England in France. England then go on to win it again in 2092 against France in England. And then in 96, Ireland beat Portugal in Switzerland, Austria. And finally, Serbia beat France in Holland/Belgium. So next up, what we normally do in this series is to find out who is the most expensive player in the world. So I'm going to click on value. That will then bring up the most expensive players filtered by the value. We can see that the top 3 most valued players in football is Steven Corcoran, who plays for Man City. He's an Irishman, rated at 81 million. Quick flick at his stats, we can see he's a very speedy winger. I'm assuming that looks like his primary position is right wing, rated 81 million. And he started his career off in Ipswich, was loaned out to Grimsby twice, and then Chelsea picked him up for 41 million before Brighton spent 103 million. And then 2 years later, Man City decided to buy him for 109 million. That's Steven Corcoran. I think I'm saying that right. The second most expensive player is Iago Michelon, who is a Brazilian at Barcelona, also rated at 81 million. So they're joint top. Let's check out his stats. So just a quick summary here. He's quite an all-rounded player. He plays right wing, left wing and can play up front. Now I'm looking at the graph. You can see it's quite a well-balanced set of skills. So let's have a look at his transfer history. He's a 28-year-old Brazilian. He started his career in the Saudi Arabian leagues at Al Fateh. Then he was loaned out to Al Rahid. Then Porto bought him for 975k, which was a bargain. Sold him later for a massive profit to Watford for 45 million. Spent 4 years at Watford. Barcelona bought him in the 98-99 season for 122 million, and he's been there ever since. And then picking up third spot is Stefano Benatti, who plays for Liverpool. He is an Italian, rated at £76 million. Let's take a look at him. Again, what I like to call a pretty well-rounded player. I mean, I look at both of the attributes and the graph. So we can see here on the graph, that's quite well balanced. You know, it's just one tip away from this shade of green. So it's just there. You know, the lower is the red, the worse their stats are. You know, he's great off the ball. He's got very good teamwork, vision and work rate. His agility, balance and acceleration are very high numbers. He's good at dribbling, and his first touch is pretty good, and passing is a 16, so we can see why his value is quite high. Let's have a quick look at his history. So Stefano Benatti started his career at Norwich, and he spent 3 years in the Championship with Norwich before being bought from Inter Milan for 31.5 million. He spent 3 years there. Then Liverpool bought him in the 96-97 season for £73 million. Since then, he's spent 5 years at Liverpool. And as a bonus, because the top two players had the same value, we call those number one. Benatti was number 2. And in third place is Dembo Furman, who is a French 26-year-old who plays for Derby, rated at 73 million. Let's take a look. So we can see this guy is quite pacey. You know, looking at his speed, and he plays out on the wings. Balance is 20, agility 18, pace 17, acceleration 17. Quite a quick guy. So he's a French winger, and I'm sure he's one of the main French wingers in the squad. You know, he's got 81 caps and 29 goals. With that being said, let's have a look at his history. Dembo Furman also started his career at Norwich, and then he was loaned out to Wigan. Then Brighton decided to buy him for 41 million. Brighton aren't no strangers to spending money in these days. And then eventually he spent 5 years at Brighton before Derby splashed the cash and spent 129 million on buying Dembo Furman. I'll be honest, what's really impressed me about this particular episode is the last 3 winners that have won the Europa League. Again, I don't want to really pronounce them. I'm going to give it a go, but this is my highlight of this episode. Universitatea Craiova, they were Romanian. Then Molde from Norway won, and then Red Star from Serbia won the Europa League for the last 3 years. So I'm interested to see in the next episode, when we go 20 years ahead again, who are going to be the teams winning. And also an honourable mention to Ferencváros, who've won it twice in 6 years. That's another pretty good accomplishment. Very good. We've reached the end of episode 4. We're in 2100. The next episode will be 2120. God, it's getting a mouthful to say now. But if you've enjoyed this content, then please do leave a comment below what you'd like to see in the next episode. Give the video a like, and please do feel free to subscribe. I will see you on the next episode.